Hey, so welcome to the cabin project. This is my grandparents' old cabin. They bought it in the 60s or 70s. They bought it as a condemned property, and they lived in it for a couple decades, using it as a weekend spot, and then it was abandoned for maybe 15 or 20 years. And now I'm picking it back up and trying to get it usable again. So here it is from the front. What I'd like to do is kind of give a little tour of the project. I'll show the property, the cabin, and then where my projects are. I've been kind of working on this on and off for a while. I haven't been making videos of it, but I'd like to start making some videos, and so hopefully you'll be able to follow along with finishing those projects, and then follow along with any of the new projects I start, which there will be many of. This place needs a lot of work. So here's the other side of the cabin. And there's actually a little trail that goes up along here, up into the hills, and goes for a few miles. It's kind of there's a little summer camp back there, and they let us use the trails. Here's the front. And there's these little stairs that go up the hill. And there's like 4 acres up this hill, which is awesome. It's beautiful up there. Here it is from the top. And then down here, wow, is the little scary basement. It is totally full of junk. This is how I found it, mostly. The stuff is all mine, but I just have nowhere to put it. So this all needs to go. This is like old materials. I mean, really old materials. This is wood that we can burn back up in here, so that's chill to keep. But gotta do something about all this. Clean this out so we can start using the storage space correctly. And I'll keep showing the cabin so we can orient here, but this is like a little yard. There's like a little side area here, and then there's a little yard here, driveway, parking space type of thing. And this is usually where I pop my camper and hang out for the night. And actually, this is kind of fun. This is my dad's old F-150, F-100. What is it? F-100. Just chilling out here. Still got the, what I think, El Cabrillo College sticker on it. In bad shape. More of an decoration at this point, but kind of a fun little thing. And then down the driveway here is the well. So this thing was actually sitting just like on cinder blocks a while ago. So I went ahead and threw some spacers on here, and then a support beam. So the pump is now actually supported by something solid. And got a pressure tank, but no holding tank. So we don't have a ton of water in the summer. Got to be a little more careful about that. So let's do a little tour. We did have the siding replaced, some framing repaired. These windows are all new, and we got some skylights installed, which are awesome. And it's basically just a little studio. You have to ignore the mess here. I'm still working, but just an open plan. We got these windows, skylights poking through. And yeah, so it's just a little open plan. There's a bathroom over here. Just a tiny little bathroom, all working. Weird little instant heater shower that apparently works somehow. Oh. And then up here is a little loft area. So we got these like windows on each end, and then it's a nice little loft down the center, which I think we're gonna make into a little master bedroom sort of thing with a bed over there. For now, it's just storage, but we'll get there. So now we'll just run through the active projects I got going on. So this patio was really falling apart when I first got here, and it was actually, it came up to here on the house, and that was causing water to kind of flow in. It was soaking into the subfloor, which is not good. So I tore it up this last rainy season and dug this trench so that the water doesn't pool anymore. And we put some flashing on here. We're just trying to prevent this leakage in here, which is still damp because it is a resting 99% humidity out here, which is crazy. And I actually really liked the pattern of the bricks here. They were really well made. So I'm just copying the pattern over to here, and I'm gonna pull this all up, put some sand down, and do it correctly, and then put this pattern right back here, 1 foot lower or something. So we are also trying to get flooring in right now. This is my active project. I need to flatten the floor in both directions, and it is a huge pain in the ass. There's a bunch of high spots here. You can see I've been shaving away. There's a bunch of low spots. I've been doing it wrong too. This whole corner is totally messed up. I gotta deal with that at some point. But yeah, trying to just chip away at that. I also had to replace this subfloor a little while ago. There's little patches here and there that are just like super rotted. And I'm just trying to deal with that as I move along. I think that was the last piece though. So before I get started today, I'm gonna quick come upstairs, plug in my Steam Deck so I can play Stardew Valley. Get this guy charging. Boom. And before I start working on the floor, I've got a quick little side project here. The shower head is on this pole, and it's really annoying because when you turn it on, which is this, I don't know why. So if you go to run this, it kind of comes at a weird angle, and it's just pointing like straight over. And really what I want is to have it up here and then pointing down. So I don't know how they were using that before. That's super annoying. But I got this adapter, which hopefully will just go on and solve this problem. We can take this off and then screw this on. Now I should be able to take this off for one, actually. I don't. This is like, okay. This is like really on there. So I'm just gonna do that. Whatever. So this is a like universal guy. So now this is like screwed on here. What I actually want to do is raise this up really high, and then this can just hook into here. So there, that is a much more traditional top-down shower. Nice. I don't know. I'm also gonna go ahead and turn these things on to try to keep drying the subfloor here. It just does not want to dry. So this is the dry air. I found that just blowing dry air over it and having a heater on really helps. So here we go. just let this go. Hopefully it does something.
First I gotta clean up a bit because I kind of ran out of here last time.
I forgot to add that I'm planning on installing LVP, and that's why I'm trying to get it so flat.
So, what I've been doing for the past month is I have this very straight 2x4. I'm using this as a level to try to get the floor as flat as I can. I'm just holding this down like this, checking that it's flat in both directions. And right now it's not very flat. For example, I don't know if you can see this. Yes, you can. It's very flat all the way over here. And then it kind of lifts up on this end. Like totally just lifts up. But if I throw this over on this side, it's pretty much flat. Like this is just a tiny bit of light. It's nothing. Totally flat down there. So, and then it's lifting on this side now. Now it's like lifting off over here. So it seems like maybe there's like a peak here and then it's flat on both ends like that. I don't know how to deal with that or if it's even worth dealing with. It might be fine. I don't know. And then right here, it's really bad. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I'm like pushing this, obvious high spot there, and then it chills out about here. This feels really flat. So, I just got to grab a hand plane, toolbox, and then a battery from my battery box. Go. Yeah, that's much better. So I get this issue all the time. This is like an original piece of subfloor, and there's like a screw in here where the head has snapped, but it's like super rusted, and I have to like somehow try to pry this thing out of here. It's super annoying. Oh, see, it's like, what the hell? So I'm just gonna flatten this. I mean, this isn't amazing.
but it's fine. And there's another one there. Hopefully this just dries in. I think that's newer. Yeah, that's sinking in, so it gives me enough room to just shave some off the top here. So I took up a bunch of screws here, and I'm struggling to find the joist. So since I have such good access, I've got this screw, not hitting anything. So I'm gonna go walk downstairs, my flashlight. And try to find it. So, Christ. Well, okay, so there it is. It's right there. So I gotta go left more. Gotcha. Over. I gotta go pretty close. Aggressively. There we go. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now this is screwed back in. So here's my problem. I flatten this one area, it takes me forever. I move down, and now I'm noticing that there's just this ginormous dip in this area. Like, it just goes and goes. Like, just giant dip here. Giant dip here. It just goes and goes, never ends. Entire floor, there's a dip here. Like, it's everywhere. Like, holy shit. So I was getting really frustrated. I feel like I flatten an area, a new low spot or a high spot shows up. Then I decided to come check over here to see if the rest of the house is fine, and I'm just working on this one area that's lame. And I put this down, and it is like a ginormous gap. I mean, this is let me see if I can get something to measure this. It's nearly half an inch. I mean, it's pretty damn close. Maybe it's more like 3/8 of an inch of a gap. But then I was looking at the edge here, and that's wobble from this is insane. If I weigh down this side, I'll use my drill. That's not even holding it all the way down. That's like an inch. That's crazy. I don't even know what to do about that. So So after the discovery, I think I've decided that this floor is just way too wonky to be installed in LVP. We don't really want to lay down a bunch of like self-leveling concrete in this like second story on stilts tiny cabin. It just seems like a bad idea. So the only option other than that would be to tear up the subfloor and fix all the joists, and that's just like not in the scope of this project. It's not, I don't think it's really worth it. I think what we're gonna do is just figure out something like carpeting, maybe some tile in the kitchen, or sheet vinyl. I got a guy coming on Friday in a few days, so I'm gonna talk to him about it, see what he thinks. But most likely, I'm just gonna move away from LVP. I just think this is not the right spot for it. I will probably start working on finishing up the upstairs and getting that livable, which involves finishing up the ceiling, making some decisions there, and stuff like that.
After deciding to take a step back from the floors, I went around and took all the measurements I needed to plan out the ceiling and the insulation.
So now what I'd like to do is get the exact measurement of this roof or ceiling so I can really calculate how much insulation and mostly the tongue and groove, how much tongue and groove I need. Is
This long layer needs. Okay.
like, this is just a fucking steel I-beam. The fuck is that doing here? I don't know. So interesting development. Somebody left a bunch of insulation down here. It's definitely been like lived in and shit, like nested in. There's a hole here where something has dug up into the basement. There's a hole here, which is like the root of a tree that's on the other side of this wall. Something's getting in there. Then there's like some nesting going on right here. So this will be interesting. So I went ahead and masked up, and I'm just gonna scoop this stuff into a trash bag here because it's pretty gross. God, I'm so on edge right now. I feel like I'm scared of like the ultimate jump scare where like some animal's just gonna like hop out of somewhere, freak me out. There's a bunch of bugs up there too. Oh, I really don't want to do this. I really don't. Oh my god. Look. Look at the shit. What? Fuck. It's everything here. Okay. Like, Jesus. Well, I definitely found like where it was nesting. You can see like back there, must have been digging into the wall up here and then was like nesting under that boat. And like you can see, these are like big shits, man. I don't know. I think this guy's coming back. Jesus. So that was a pain, but this is definitely all the big old bulky stuff that I'll want to get rid of from there. The rest is like small, I can just like, you know, little stuff here and there, but this will be a huge help. We can start using that area. I can kind of flatten it out or something. But yeah, I'm probably gonna take some photos, send this to my guy, and call it a day on this. All right, so let's see. Here's like this little hole. So I'm gonna set this trap down like right here. I don't know. Seems like this is somewhere it's going. Like right there. And I'll toss some chips in it. See what happens. Yeah, got some nice smelly chips in there.